Hi, I'm Anistinn. I am a TikTok influencer. I model, I do voiceover sometimes. I like to go to school and study anatomy, and I was interviewed by Keith Andrews. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy the interview.
This is episode 1080. That is right, 1080 episodes of the KeithAndrewNetWork that's available on all social medias. So if you're watching, make sure to like and subscribe. As you heard from the recommendation, our beautiful guest already introduced herself, so it makes it easier for myself. Now I can just focus in on the interview. Once we hit record, video starts, interview time. Instead of me butchering your name and then taking 5 minutes of trying to pronounce it, it makes it
Yeah,
easier.
good.
But what's really cool is I downloaded some special effects. You won't see it now, but when you're watching it back, it's really going to look amazing. It's going to be terrific.
All right.
It's going to be wonderful. So the first one I want to talk to you about is called Icebreakers.
All
So the
right.
first question I want to ask you is tell our audience a little bit about your background and how you came to do what you do now.
Well, I grew up as the firstborn of like five kids. So I was like a Cinderella sister. I don't know. I tried to move out of the house as quickly as I could when I was 18. So I was born in California. I moved here to Arizona at 11. I moved to Utah when I was 18. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go to college over out there and figure that stuff up. Um, and after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move back to Arizona. So I moved back to Arizona. I lived in Utah for about 2 years, so I was about 20 when I came back, and I don't know. I Before I moved to Utah, I took senior photos with my friend from high school. Her name is Dallas. She took my senior photos, and when I moved to Utah, um, she had messaged me and asked if I wanted to. Oh, sorry, fact check. But she took my senior photos, and we had like a good time. It was a good shoot. And then a couple months later, after we had graduated, we were in the same class. She asked me if I wanted to model for her. So I was like, yeah, of course, why not? This is my first time kind of modeling. Like it's it's new, but it's like freelance, so it's not anything big. So I left to Utah, and then I came back for like Christmas vacation, and we did another one. And that was really cool. And then went back to Utah, came back to Arizona again, finally. And then after a couple months of living back in Arizona, I moved in April of 2021. And around July of 2021, she had asked me to do a photo shoot with this brand called Blush Desert. And so I was like, oh, okay, sure, why not? And we did a photo shoot, and turns out the lady who owns it, the brand, she is her daughter. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm getting like a bunch of text messages. So the lady who owns the brand, she her daughter went to college with my aunt. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So after that, she had asked me to do some photo shoots with her. So I kind of did some more of those. Um, and then after that, I had met a model there who would put me like would recommend me to people who needed models that day for like last minute stuff. And they told me about like a Facebook group called like Phoenix or Arizona photographers and models or whatever. And I went there and I started doing different I put my portfolio in there and I was like, hey guys, so now I'm here. It's not super big, but I'm just, starting out small, and I've gotten a couple brands I've modeled for, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. And now I'm just trying to, go to school at the same time. So just doing a bunch of things. I'm going to school for dental hygiene.
Oh,
So
nice.
we'll see how that goes.
Well, if
Yeah.
you ever up for it, I would love to work with you on some projects.
Yeah, for sure.
I know off the air we're going to do some voiceovers for fun, but if you're
Okay.
ever interested in volunteer work, maybe you could be my brand ambassador or something. That's why I'm, if
For
you're
sure.
interested.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next two
That would be
questions,
fun.
no, absolutely. You help me, I help you. So
Yeah.
that's what the Keith Andrew Network's about. You're making a new friend and you're supporting each other. And that's pretty
Hmm.
much what it is. The next two questions I want to ask you is what did you major in? And are you a study nerd or party animal?
I'm not a party animal. We'll go straight to that question. I hate parties, honestly. Um, I never went to ones in high school. I grew up really religious, which that didn't really affect, I mean, it affected me, but that didn't really like affect my party animalness. I don't like big things. I like small social gatherings. Like it's fun to go out every once in a while, but I don't know. I like to be in bed by like 9. But like I said before, I'm going to school for dental hygiene. So, my major is like science, health, and dental. So,
Really cool. And then, today's my birthday. So,
oh my gosh, really? Well, happy birthday.
no, I appreciate that. I know I look good. I have a fat neck. So that's why I'm trying to adjust the camera angle. I'm now
Right,
36, but,
right.
I don't stay up late. So about
Yeah.
9:30, 10. I'm like, it's 10 o'clock at night. I stay up. The latest I can stay up if I push myself, 11. The latest is like 10:30. I'm like, you know what? Nothing I'm doing right now, but I can't do. And then what? Another 8 hours from now. So it's kind of might as well get some rest.
Yeah.
So I can be late to you if you go. You said you go sleep about 9, so we fall in the same
Yeah.
category. Sucks
I
getting
definitely need
old,
to be in
right?
bed soon. Yeah. And I'm not even old. Like even after I just turned 21, so I'm going to be 23. But like it's still like oh, I feel like I'm getting old, but I'm just starting out. I just don't like going out. I took I took 2 months to go out, and I turned 21 like 2 years ago, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out and have fun, and it was 2 months, and then I was done. I'm like, all right, I'm done with partying. I'm okay with just staying in.
No, I agree. And it's also your environment and your routine. I still live at home, so it's kind of like you do the same routine over and over again, and you kind of fall into it. But if you're
Yeah,
out and doing different things, then you kind of feel like, whoa, I have all this energy I never knew I had.
yeah.
But here's a fun question for you, and it's really cool. As I mentioned earlier, special effects will be on the screen for each subject. The new
For
one will
sure.
be called I can't get the live part out of it, but I like it because it has sports in it. But
Hmm.
just for the hell of it, next segment I want to talk to you about is live sports. Did you
Okay.
mention, well, I know you're not really into the party scene, but are you
Mhm.
into the sports scene?
I'm honestly not. I did swim in high school for freshman year. I swam in the YMCA thing for like 2 years after that. But I've never really been like a big fan of sports. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it's fun if I play them, but it's not fun if I watch them. I don't know why.
No, I used to be obsessed with WWE. So I used
Yeah.
to, before I did my talk show, I used to watch it religiously. And now when I watch it, I'm like, have ADD. So now it's kind of like, okay, I'm trying to watch it. I watch it. But by the back of my mind, I should be doing this. I can do this. And
Hmm.
it's hard to focus. And it's like you said, I'm the type of person, I bet we agree on this. I need to be involved. I have to be doing something. If you tell me to
Hmm.
sit there for 3 hours, I'm gonna be climbing up the freaking wall.
I feel you. I have ADD too. So I feel you. It's hard with school. It's hard to focus. You're like, oh, I'm gonna cook rice, and then you're like, oh, I need to go lay down for a second, and you're like, oh my gosh, 2 hours later, your rice is burnt. So you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You're probably gonna make fun of me for this, but a lot of people. I like to be different, and I
Hmm.
like the subject since I was four, and it's not anything dirty, I promise. The one thing I always liked is those human pyramids. So the question is, have you ever done one?
No, I haven't. No.
I'm a loser. I like that stuff. The reason that I like it is one, it's human art. Two, is an exercise. Three, you bring people together. And four, you're just having fun. But it's really it's amazing, and being sarcastically on that, but how people try to ruin it. Oh, you like human pyramids? Ooh, that's so stupid. Isn't it fictional? It's like, why are you trying to ruin something that other people enjoy? It's kind of like,
Yeah.
oxymoron. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean everyone else has to say like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But would you ever be interested in doing one?
I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like I can't like stay in one place for too long of a time, and then people climbing on top.
But
No,
it would be
I don't
fun.
know.
But the reason I bring it up is on the Keith Andrew Network, it isn't just about talk shows. Like I mentioned about, we do voiceovers, we do video challenges. It's funny enough, we actually have the Human Pyramid Challenge on the Keith Andrew Network.
Hmm.
So my network is pretty much, when I tell people, okay, I'm a talk show host with a disability, yeah, they always plan out, oh, well, I guess you only interview people with disabilities. No, that's not the point. My brand is like I'm a talk show host with a disability, but I cater to everyone in all ages. So it's a
Hmm.
entertainment slash variety show. It's interviews, voiceovers, circus act. So it's a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
Anyway, I just want to tell you about that. So I'm going on a tangent. This is about you, not about me. The next
No,
question
it's all
I
good.
Next question I want to ask you is the coronavirus. With
Hmm.
everything going on, do you see your life differently from now to when this started? Because when it started, people are like, oh, it'd be nice to work from home, press a button, have things delivered to me. Now, unfortunately, we're kicked in the face of this. Has this given you a reality check of you took things for granted? How has this whole thing impacted you?
That's a great question. So the COVID, when COVID happened, it was 2019. I know it's 2020, but in 2019, I had just gone away to college. I had moved out. I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I was ready to be independent. I was ready to live my life, and be an adult. And it came out of nowhere. I was like halfway done with this. It was medical assisting. I no had no idea why I was in there. I wanted to go to school for dental hygiene, but somehow I got mixed into medical assisting. It's a whole thing. But I had to come back home, and I really did not want to go back home. And I had told my mom, I was like, I'm not gonna come home without a job. And she is a nurse, and so she worked in assisted living, and I had gotten a job as a activity assistant. So I worked with old people. I worked with people who were getting rehabilitation for like if they had big surgeries, if they had big accidents, and stuff like that, etc. So I did that for a couple months, and then because school and my work got shut down, I used to work at Claire's at Salt Lake City too. Everything got shut down, but after a couple months, things started to slowly open up. And I was like, oh my gosh, great, wonderful. So I was like, Mom, I need to go. Like, everything's opening up. I'm gonna book a plane ticket. Like, I'm gonna go. The Claire's called me. They said they're opening up back. And I also had to like move the place that I was staying at Salt Lake. It was called the Plaza Hotel. It was not like a fancy like hotel or anything. It was like a designated dorm. So like the second and third floor were designated dorm rooms. Um, they weren't anything fancy. They were like 10 feet by 10 feet. So hectic. Um, and yeah, I had to do a lot of moving. I had met somebody, but then like it was a weird relationship, and they had moved with me to Utah, and then um I was in school, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want to do this anymore. I don't want to be in school for this. I don't like being online. That was another thing. I love being in school in person. I hate going online. Like I just cannot focus. Like I said, I had ADD. I have it, but I wasn't on medication for it. And I couldn't do it. So I took a break. I worked for about a year, which was why I stayed for about 2 years. And then I was like, you know what? What am I doing? I'm not even going to school. Like my grandma kept telling me that I need to go back to school. And I was like, I'm taking a leap year, whatever, for classes to go back online, back in person. And um, yeah, I moved back to Arizona, and that's when the COVID vaccine came out. Um, and I got the vaccine, and I've never gotten COVID actually, so like knock on wood, but I never got that. Um, I then I worked at Starbucks for a little bit, and then it wasn't paying me enough. I just got a car. I needed to make car payments. And then I was like, I probably should go somewhere that's going to give me more money. And everyone was asking about me from that assisted living. And so I was like, I'll come back, fine. And so I went back as an activity assistant, and I worked there for about 2 years. Um, and yeah, the other thing that I have discovered, which not a lot of people talk about, but I have a gluten intolerance, which I never had before. And I was on TikTok one day, and you know how people are always talking about everything.
Yeah.
And there's always something on TikTok. There's, hot Cheeto TikTok, there's gluten TikTok, there's prison TikTok. There's so many different types of versions of it. Um, and I was on gluten and celiac disease TikTok, and they were talking about the vaccine. And I am pro vaccine. I totally like, I'm like, it's good for you guys. Like, it's just like, it's dead. So it'll help you. Anyway, I'm a huge anatomy person too. I love bio. Anyway, so I had seen that it wasn't just me, but people who got the vaccine developed a gluten intolerance. Weird. Because all of a sudden, like every time I would eat something with wheat in it, my
Yeah.
stomach would literally like just get really big, because it is an autoimmune disorder. And what is COVID? It's an autoimmune disease, or it affects your immunity. And I never connected it until about like a year ago. So not confirmed. I've not confirmed, but from what I have researched and talked with my professor about too, um, that it's a genetic mutation that is written in your genes, um, and you have it, but it doesn't come out until something is triggered. So I didn't get COVID, but I got the vaccine, and I'm thinking that the vaccine had triggered the autoimmune disease for celiacs to happen. So it was very interesting. That's life changing. So I had changed my living situation. I had changed a relationship. I had changed my eating habits. I had changed my career. Um,
Well, it's
it
funny you
was a lot of
mentioned
things.
jeans. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah,
But
yeah.
well, just tell me what jeans and I won't wear them. Are they like Dockers? Are they like Levi's?
That's funny. That's funny. No, genes like genetic genetic genes. So that's funny. That's a good joke. But
Just want to make you
yeah,
laugh.
so yeah. But yeah, and the other thing is cleanliness. You realize how many people are really gross because of COVID. COVID people, they're like, oh, you also learned about people's true colors a lot. One time I
Yeah.
saw on Facebook, this one time this lady posted on Facebook. about wearing people who wear masks and people who don't, and she related it to segregation. And I was like,
Can't
"Are you joking me?"
you can't fix stupid, but you can numb it with a 2x4.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I was like, really? You're gonna put people dying and having masks and people, "Oh, I can't breathe." It's like, yes, you can. You need to relax. You can breathe. I have to wear it all day. Like you can come in the store, like when I would work at Claire's, like people would come in, I'd be like, "I'm sorry, you have a mask on." They're like,
Now
they're
you can curse,
like, "I
absolutely.
can't." Yeah. Huh?
You can curse, you can do it. I want you
Oh
to
no, it's all
express
good.
yourself. I
Yeah,
used to
but
work.
they're
I worked over at Walmart too. It's like, how dare you tell me to put on a mask? Then
yeah,
cover your mouth. And
yeah.
those stupid self checkouts, they are absolutely wonder useless. I mean, okay, if you want to go in and out, fine, but they're useless and they're covered in germs. Filthy, filthy. Remember in The
Hmm.
Simpsons? Mr. Burns watching everyone on a monitor. Look at these people, Smithers. They're covered in their filthy, filthy germs.
I love The Simpsons. The Simpsons is a great show.
My
Yeah,
who's your
but
who, oh go ahead, I'm sorry.
oh no, no, who's my favorite Simpson
Character.
character? Oh,
I like
I think
Flanders.
Ralphie. No, Ned Flanders, that's funny. I would say Ralphie because he's like, "My cat smells like food." He's being all weird. Anyway, so yeah, I guess COVID has affected me in so many different ways, but honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Do you
So
remember?
it's, hmm?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
I
you're
was
all
going to
good.
tell
You're all
you
good.
something funny about, but you can finish.
No, I'm all good. I'm all good. I finished.
You remember the scene where Homer's growing tobacco and Laufey? You did it perfectly. I'm gonna butcher it. This tastes like grandma.
That was a good one, yeah.
When I'm sarcastic, it's funny. When I'm funny, it isn't funny. But we take things entertainment. That's all it is. You watch Keith Angie
Hmm.
Network. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna make some jokes. Oh, don't take it so personally. It's gonna be great. And that guy is a piece of sh. If you want me to curse, I can. If you want, but I
You
can
can.
repeat
I don't
it.
mind. I don't mind. Yeah.
The guy's a piece of shit because he, was the old age home number one, and then the fake
Hmm.
deaths, the fake news. Unfortunately, I can see that prick becoming president. So Canada sounds really nice right now. Uh,
Yeah.
but you know
And
what's
I'm
really
like,
oh, go
oh,
ahead.
I said, I'm like, all right, let's get fluent in Spanish and go to Spain.
But the next one I want to ask you is social media. And the reason I
Hmm.
bring this up, I find it really interesting. And well, for what I'm going to say, but for you, you are a TikTok, you are an inspiration. You have over
Oh, thank
1,500 people following you. And it's really interesting because when I want to go and talk to someone, it cuts me off after like 3 minutes. But there's this woman who seems nice, but she talks about Trump and all these Trumpers or dumpers, and
you. Yeah.
I can be on there for 5-10 minutes. Really, I can stay here and talk to someone I don't want to talk to, but someone I really want to talk to, like you, it cuts me off after 2 minutes. So with TikTok, and it's hit and miss. But the question I want to ask
Yeah.
you is for people with social media, how has social media impacted your life? And you are a TikTok celebrity.
I wouldn't say a celebrity. I think I do have a lot of friends who follow me, and people who I've networked with, random people that I've like posted, not random people that I posted, but random videos I've posted coming from different things like singing, the modeling thing, get ready with me, fashion advice. I wouldn't necessarily say that I am a celebrity. I think I'm working on being an influencer because I feel like 15 is kind of like it's like micro. It's very micro influencer. Like just starting. Like I just barely started to go on lives. Once I got that 1,000 follower, I was like, I can go live now. And so doing that, I realized I gained like 500 followers in like 2 days for going live. So I'm like, oh, if I go live, more people will follow me. So that's what I've learned. But like on Instagram, I have like less than that. I have 1,067 last time I checked. So that was that. But most of them are people that I've met throughout my adolescence to now. Adolescence being like 13. So like from 13 to 23. So 10 years of people that I've met throughout my life. I don't know, social media has definitely impacted me by seeing an opportunity in everything. It's an easy way to network with people, easy way to show who you are and what you promote. And yeah, it's very interesting. My boyfriend and I are trying to become more influential in this thing. He is a photographer as well and videographer. That's how we met. I modeled for his jewelry company. It's a small little one called Halo Chain Shop. So that's, something that we're trying to be more influential about, trying to promote on like our social medias. It's like, oh, buy our jewelry, buy our angel name number necklaces, our chains, whatever. But yeah, I guess social media just has influenced me to see an opportunity in everything and network with people.
Well, I would love to work with you if you're up for it.
Yeah, for sure.
I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up our interview segment, make sure if you're watching on TikTok and Instagram, coming up in a couple of minutes will be the sit down with our beautiful guests. That's not the name of the show, but it's the first 10 minutes. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. I'm looking forward to part two. Our goal is to reach over 100 and more views. Once we hit that 100 mark, we will definitely do a part two. Our goal is to make it go viral. So 100, it's the baby. But to go even far, my favorite cartoon, Dragon Ball, our goal is to go even farther beyond. So support my guest. She's wonderful. She's beautiful and talented. I'm not kissing your butt, but you do have a bright future, and I would like to be a
Thank
part
you.
of it. Now, with that being said, stay tuned. When we come back for this commercial break, it's the sit down with Keith Andrew.